Well, I'm about to tick off a whole bunch of black folks and white liberals. What's going on, America? Welcome to Kevin's Corner, where I try to make some sense out of nonsense. Before we get into this video, I need y'all to do me a favor. Hit that like button, share my videos. Please make sure you subscribe. Make sure your notification buttons are turned on to all. Subscribe to my alternative channel, just in case YouTube give me the slip or something. You'll know how to find me. Don't forget to check me out with all the podcasts and follow me on Rumble and the Jungle. All the links are listed below. If you want to donate to my channel, feel free. Those links are below as well. Now, with no further ado,
welcome to my party, we're just getting started.
What's going on, America? This is Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And yeah, we got a new story of police, I guess, brutality that has taken place down in the great state of Florida. And apparently these police officers was very, very unkind and brutal to this black man who they pulled over, and he just simply had some questions. And because they didn't like his questions and stuff like that, they decided to drag him out the car and just start beating on him for no reason. Now, you know, when I hear stories like this, and even when I see videos and people's first reaction, I never jump based on what is first shown to me. You know, I always stop and say, no, wait a minute, like your parents used to do when you would come home from school and you say, the teacher put me in a corner, or she made me write my name like 100 times. And the first thing your parents used to ask is, well, what did you do? See, that's old school. That's when black folks would hold other black folks accountable for their own behavior. You would stop first to check in and say, well, wait, how did you contribute to this? Are you the sum total of your own choices in this particular situation? And if I conclude after getting all the details that, yeah, you were innocent, that's right. Hey, man, look, that was a clear case of racism or police brutality, I'll be the first to jump on board and say, yeah, let's rally the troops and go down there and march and all of that good stuff. However, most of the time when things like this happen, you will often find that there are a whole bunch of little things that happen that contributed to the final outcome that people want just to ignore based on the fact that it's race. So we want to get into this story real quick and see if we can unravel some of the details. And I'm pretty sure some folks that are black are going to call me a bunch of names and say, you know what, I can't believe you siding with the white cops and stuff like that. No, it ain't even about siding with the cops. You know, I got this philosophy that I live by. And the difference between conservative minorities and black folks versus liberals, liberal black folks, or just black folks in general who ain't even politically, savvy, but they are definitely in touch with the narrative that, you know, black people are oppressed and they're always been abused by the system and all of that stuff. The difference between us is we don't look for opportunities to blame black people's behavior on racism. We actually look at black people and say we want to hold them to a higher standard. We don't want to let them be sorry. Like in college, you know, my football coach, he got on me and he told me, hey, Kev, you know what your problem is? You want to be sorry, and I'm not going to let you be sorry. I'm going to stay on you to make sure I get the best Kev that I can get out of you. Because if I don't, you will default to be sorry. And I think right now we are living in a time where oftentimes black folks and white liberals definitely will see a situation that might look like it might be racially motivated on the surface. But if you really look deep down into it, you got to ask yourself, was this black person doing things that allowed themselves to be sorry? If I make excuses for this person, or if I don't properly identify this behavior that contributed to this outcome, am I allowing this person to be sorry? Am I going to be a handicap to the next young black man who might run into the same situation and handle it just like this guy did and get the same results? Or can I impute something into some young men or young women on how to solve these things, how to resolve them, how to manage your emotions, how to develop conflict resolution skills, how to communicate properly to de-escalate that might not lead to what we're about to see. So let's go ahead and get into it and see if it's a case of racism or something like that.
A cop or cops smash a black driver's window, brutally attack him. We got the details. Here it is.
When he pulled me over, he walked up, opened my door because my window don't work, right? Okay. And then I said, so what I did wrong? Yeah. He said, well, for one, your headlights are off under this weather. I'm like, okay. There's multiple people headlights off, first of all. And then there's no rain.
It doesn't matter. You're still required to have headlights on.
Can you pull that law up? Huh? Can you pull that law up?
Yeah, when you step out of the car, I will.
Can you call your supervisor? Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it.
Exit the vehicle now.
America, they trying to gaslight us. Cue the video.
First of all, let me stop you. Not a sucker punch. I'm not excusing that administratively. I'm going to say that to you one more time. I'm not excusing that administratively. There are things that we definitely need to look at. But the context of this video should tell you everything you need to know.
It looks like it's a sucker punch because he's looking straight and you see this.
Right.
Okay, and then you see them pull him out and then you see a couple punches to the face. Now, I understand breaking the window, but he charged him with resisting arrest without violence. So I saw a lot of violence. I think the public saw a lot of violence against somebody that was not violent.
Well, first of all, Eric, don't try to talk the public into what they saw. They just saw the same video as you saw.
What? Exit the vehicle.
You gonna tell me what the fuck I just seen happen? Ain't that? You're not finna gaslight us, Sheriff TK Walters, Waters, whatever your name is.
Well, now, after seeing that clip, only that clip and not what led to that, of course, it looked like that brother wasn't doing nothing. He was just sitting in his car asking some simple questions, and the white cops just decided, let's break this dude's window, and of course, jab him in the face. Now, I will say this. That was a sucker punch. I ain't gonna even lie. I know a sucker punch when I see one, okay? That was a sucker punch, but the question is, what led to that sucker punch? Did that sucker punch just come out of thin air? See, because they just showed us the part where he was asking questions and the cop said, step out the car. And all he simply did was ask, can you call your supervisor? And the cop was like, you know what? My patience is exhausted. That's it. Go ahead, break the window. And broke the window and then just sucker punched the dude. Now, I'm sure there's more to this because most of these cases that we hear about that the media jumps on board or people get upset on the internets and be talking about racism, we often find out later on that there were a lot of things that person contributed that led to this. You know, how about we go back a little bit and see what led to this and then see if we can do some, troubleshooting, maybe find out what he could have done differently to avoid this situation. So let's go ahead and see what the news had to say about it, because you know they like stories like this.
There is growing attention on the sheriff's department in Jacksonville, Florida, over a viral video of a violent traffic stop involving a black driver. The cell phone footage is from February, but it was just posted this past weekend. And then the body camera videos were released yesterday. Officers say they pulled over 22-year-old William McNeil for not wearing a seatbelt and not turning on his headlights during inclement weather. McNeil said his window was broken, and an officer told him 4 times to open the door and exit or he'd shatter the glass.
There's no rain.
It doesn't matter. You're still required to have headlights on.
Can you pull that law up?
Huh?
Can you pull that law up?
Yeah, when you step out of the car, I will.
Can you call your supervisor?
Huh?
Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it.
Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands.
Here.
I'm here. What is your reason, sir?
Step out.
What is your reason?
Step out now. All right.
No, don't.
The officers involved are not being criminally charged, but the officer who smashed the window and punched him is suspended pending an internal review. Aaron, Jacksonville sheriff has released that body cam footage that he says provides context for the encounter. So walk us through it, would you?
So, Chris, we now have 4 different angles on this incident. The first video we saw over the weekend, the cell phone video from inside the car. Now the sheriff's office has released 3 pieces of body cam video. The piece that you played was from the second officer who arrived on the scene. The officer you saw on the driver's side of the car is Officer Bowers, who was the first officer. And in his body cam video, you see him in his cruiser pulling up behind Mr. McNeil and then getting out, approaching Mr. McNeil's car, at which point he opens the car door. and leans out. He says that his window is broken. That's why he's opened the door. And when the officer tells him to get out of the vehicle because he's being pulled over for not having his headlights on during inclement weather, which the law says you have to do in Florida and other places around the country for that matter. And then the interaction escalates after Mr. McNeil shuts the car door, where he's told over and over again, at least 7 times, to get out of the vehicle. And then at this point, after talking with that second officer, you see the window being broken there. The punch happens that we see on the cell phone video. I want you to see a little bit of the body camera video that we've edited just so you can see the progression in the interaction here. Watch this.
Now, if you even watch the clip from the news, she did mention that they asked him to step out the car 4 times. 4 times. Now, my question to this young man is, how did he think this was going to end up? I mean, they stopped him for, I guess, not having his lights on in bad weather and, stuff like that, not having a seatbelt. These are all legitimate reasons that the police could stop you. But the way you respond to this could determine how this all falls out, the outcome of it all. If you decide to meet them with aggression, when they open up with just simply saying, hey, look, I pulled you over for this and this and that, why you pull me over? See, there is a tone that you can have that would, kind of set the stage for how everything unfolds. You all know this just as regular people. I mean, if you got a kid and you like, so did you finish your homework? Man, yeah, finish it. Immediately. It's a problem. Immediately you're going, whoa. See, it appears that you got a problem with authority and you got a lot of questions for me. And all I'm doing is asking, you some simple questions. Did you do your homework? Did you say whatever, this and that? But man, nobody likes that. But man, nobody likes that, especially if you're a person in authority. And so if you meet these type of situations with, civility, with, yes, officer, I mean, what did I do? Oh, okay, well, no problem. Shoot. Hey, I didn't know that. I mean, if you diffuse it by simply saying, hey, man, my fault. I didn't have my lights on, my bad. Hey, you know what? Can you let me off with a warning? See, that right there could have led to a whole different outcome. But immediately he decides to go into, let me question the whole purpose of this. And if it's legit and if it's all of this is I'm pulled over because I'm just black, where you're profiling me. I could see the attitude in this young man. And we didn't even see the whole thing. We just saw the edited part from the news. They don't want to show us the whole thing because they love stories like this where they can demonize the police and call them racist. Now, the question is, after he didn't comply and they determined they have to break the window, was it warranted that the cop had to sucker punch the dude? Well, let's go ahead and see if we can find some more footage that shows, more details about what led to this.
Sir, this is your last warning to open the vehicle and exit before we're going to break the window. No, he's under arrest. Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting.
He talking about arresting me and stuff, bro. I didn't do nothing.
It's called resisting, idiot.
So now, before we go any further, I want to let you know that they also found out that the man didn't have a license. His license was suspended, and he also had some drug paraphernalia in the car, but they dropped those charges. Now, I'm just saying, if I know I got something in the car that I need to hide, or if I know I'm riding dirty, then that might even, kind of justify why I might have met them with aggression. Instead of saying, yeah, absolutely, look into everything, you can here's my license and all that stuff. Now, you seem very defensive. And the question is, are you being defensive because you feel that you are being disrespected and racially profiled? Or you're being defensive because once they start asking deeper questions, they're going to find out that you're riding dirty. See, that right there gives a motive. When you're hiding something, man, why you want to look in my book bag? See, I used to be a principal, so I know this. Yo, man, look, I saw you put something in your book bag. It looked like some weed. Man, why you want to look at my stuff? Well, I got probable cause, see? Or why don't you want me to look in your stuff? Are you worried about me finding something in that book bag? Now, I told y'all that I got pulled over one time for what I know was nothing when I moved back to Youngstown many years ago, coming out of college when Youngstown was crime-riddled. And they pulled me over. I'm riding in a rodeo, Isuzu rodeo. Thought I was fresh, y'all. They pulled me over, and it was nothing but police officers with black shirts that said police, all in Broncos. And he opens up by saying, now, you know why I pulled you over? I'm like, no. He's like, well, I pulled you over because you rolled on the stop sign. Now, I know I didn't roll on the stop sign. I know they were probably like, this young black dude, we ain't never seen this guy before. A lot of crime, a lot of drugs. Let's go ahead and check him out. And they you rolled on the stop sign. And it goes from that to, you mind if we search a vehicle? I got out that car with such confidence and such, charisma. Absolutely, officer. And while he told them to go start searching the car, I started dialoguing with the student. I'm like, so how's the crime right about now in Youngstown? Has the crime rate dropped or dipped? I mean, what's going on with that? And immediately, that guy was like, wrap it up. We're out of here. He knew off grip, this guy has nothing to hide. This guy speaks with some intelligence and respect. He's giving me no reason to say, what? You got an attitude? Hey, watch it. What? You seem real angsty. You seem real defensive. Nothing. Immediately, wrap it up. Let's go. See, so that's what happens when you know how to have conflict resolution versus I'm going to meet you with aggression immediately and hope that I win this argument, even though you're the person in authority. So those that don't watch my channel, like I mentioned, I used to be a principal. I would open a classroom door, see a kid with a cell phone out in front of a teacher. And I say, excuse me, young man, could you put the phone away? Man, why you got to tell? And you won't be letting everybody. Now, immediately, that changes the whole conversation. I go from simply saying, put the phone away so I can go back to my office and do my work, to now it's my mission to get that cell phone. Now, all of a sudden, I'm going, now I got to get that cell phone one way or another. And if you think you're going to win this battle, if you think, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and resist Mr. Kev until he just finally go, man, shoot, I tried, man. Ain't nothing I could do. He wouldn't just give me the phone. You got another thing coming. Yeah, man, I'm going to, one way or another, get that cell phone, even if I have to drag you and the cell phone out of the school building together. But you're not going to win that. You're not going to get me to just say, well, I give up. What message does that send to all the other kids? So if you would have simply said, oh, my fault, Mr. Kevin, and put the phone up, guess what I would have done? Gone back to my office, and for all I know, you could have pulled the phone out and start playing on it again. But because you want to get an attitude, because you don't like authority and you've been busted for something, now all of a sudden it's my mission to make an example out of you. But let's continue.
Yes, sir.
Is there a reason why you're popping the door open like that?
I don't have a window that works. Is there a reason that you're pulling me over?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason why I'm pulling you over. For one thing, inclement weather, you don't have your lights on. Two things, you're not wearing your seatbelt.
It's daylight. I don't need the lights. And it's not weather. It's not raining.
Oh, this is inclement?
It's not raining.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you why I'm pulling you over. Give me your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
No, call your supervisor. Why?
Excuse me?
Call your supervisor. Why did you pull me over?
77, 35. I'm proper dog driver. I've already told you.
Why did you pull me over?
Step out of the vehicle.
No.
Step out of the vehicle.
Now, did y'all see that? Y'all see that? Just open the door immediately. Cop pulls you over, and the first thing you do before he comes up to the window and sees what's going on is you bust open the door. Now, off grip, if I'm a police officer, I'm thinking you're busting open the door and coming out firing at me. That's the first thing. So the police officer asks, is there a reason why you open the door? Yeah, because my door don't open up. Is there a reason why you pulling me over? Smart mouth. Right off grip. Is there a reason why you're pulling me over instead of, officer, what's the problem? Or my door's jammed or whatever. I should have waited until you came and told me what to do and said through the door, look, my door's jammed. You mind if I open my door? But not him. He takes the initiative, see. Because he just offended, period. He don't even know why the cop pulled him over, but his reaction is to bust the door open first and say, is there a reason why you pulled me over? Yeah. Is there a reason why you just open your door? Because my door ain't open. Is there a reason why you pulled me over? Yes, because you didn't have, your lights on in bad weather. It ain't bad weather. See? Smart mouth. Off grip. Now this guy wants to go ahead and get smart because I guess he feels like he's disrespected by the police officer just for asking him some questions and pulling him over. So he's going to go ahead and set the tone by saying, it ain't no bad weather. Now, for all those black people who think, well, he still didn't do nothing. If you know anybody in your family, even yourself, growing up, if you had that same response with your parents, you would get the backhand so quick to the lip. And then they tell you to go over in the corner and think about it. Hey, man, is there a reason why you downstairs in the cookies after I told you not to eat it? Is there a reason why you asking me why I'm in the cookies? Immediately, it goes from, oh, my fault, Dad. I forgot. I'm going to go back upstairs. Okay, go ahead and do that. Versus, man, why you asking me? Now, all of a sudden, he going to shove all those cookies up your nose. So this guy opens up with this attitude. And then when the cop, he says, you know what, could you step out the car? No. What? All he had to do. Here's all the times he could have avoided this. All right, let me replay it. You know what? Walking over to the car. Doom, doom, doom. Excuse me, sir. Hands on the wheel. Yes. How can I help you, officer? Well, you know, your lights aren't on. Could you roll down the window? Actually, my window is broken. You mind if I open the door? Sure, go ahead. Just keep your hands where I can see them. You open the door. I just pulled you over because you didn't have your lights on in the bad weather. Oh, really? I didn't know that was a law. I didn't think the weather was that bad. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, I'll go ahead and turn them on now. Most likely the cop said, okay, cool. Be safe. But nope, not him. Not him. He wants to go ahead and tell the cop, no. Now, it could be no because I don't want you to search my car because I got weed in it. It could be no because I don't want you to run my license and find out I'm riding dirty. Or it could be no because I don't have conflict resolution. And I've been taught by a whole bunch of folks who would tell me only reason a cop will pull you over is because you're black and you should be offended by it and respond disrespectfully. So now off grip. The cop is like, oh, no, he didn't just slam the door in my face. Now, how does this black man think this is going to end? Why didn't the news show this? Why didn't he show this on his little video clip? So now let's see how it ends.
Sorry, for 9-4, the driver just slammed the door and locked it. Yep. If anybody responding, come in from Commonwealth, block the vehicle, please. Keep your hands where I can see them, sir. My camera's on too. I've already told you. Okay. Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting.
Can you unlock the door and step out? I will. Can you step out? You're being done. There's a traffic stop being conducted. You're required to comply.
Vehicle's locked in.
Yes.
He's locked it up. Put the window down.
Correct.
I tried to talk to
Huh? Okay. So what did he ask for when he I guess, talked to you?
When he pulled me over, he walked up, opened my door because my window don't work, right? And then I said, so what I did wrong?
Yeah.
He said, well, for one, your headlights are off under this weather. I'm like, there's multiple people headlights off.
Okay, that's still
and then there's no rain.
It doesn't matter. You're still required to have headlights on.
Can you pull that law up?
Huh?
Can you pull that law up?
Yeah, when you step out of the car, I will.
Hey.
Can you call your supervisor?
Huh?
Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it.
Exit the vehicle now! Exit the vehicle! Show me your hands.
Here.
1033 at 16.1 hours.
What is your reason, sir? What is your reason?
Step out now. All right.
No, don't. Get on the ground.
Put your hands behind your back! Hands behind your back!
Now see, he messed around and found out. They asked the man 7 times to open the door and get out of the car. They gave him a direct command, okay? And then he tries to say, well, you know what? Why you pull me over? The cop told him why I pulled you. I pulled you over because you didn't have a seatbelt on. You didn't have your lights on, okay? That's probable cause. No, call your manager. Call your manager. Get out the car. No, slams the door. Then the other cop comes and gives him some more grace. Gives him another opportunity to avoid this by asking some questions. All right, why are you upset? Because he pulled me over and you know what? And I said, I told him this and I told him that and this and this and that. And I told him to call his manager. Okay, well, you know what? No, and then he said, I told him, explain to me, show me the law. Okay, I'll show you the law when you step out the car. Now, right now, he's giving him another chance to escape this outcome. Just get out the car. I'll show you the law, and then we'll go from there. Right now, he's still in the clear. He still can come out of this okay. But nope, not him. Nah, man, call your manager. Now, all of a sudden, okay, go ahead, break the window. Now, all of a sudden, he's sitting there looking like the victim. Now, all of a sudden, he's sitting in the car like, I can't even believe these dudes are doing this. Even though they asked me 7 times to get out the car, told me why they pulled me over. I got smart. I'm showing attitude. I slammed the door in the guy's face. I opened the door before he even got to the car. For all I know, he could have pulled a gun out and started shooting at me because he thought I was going to open the door and start firing at him. I've seen videos of that many times where people jump out before the cop even gets to the car and start shooting at the cop. But this guy, He's not aware of that. He don't have the higher level of social skills to understand how to negotiate this whole interaction. So now all of a sudden, what happens? No, call your manager. It's almost like he wanted them to do something. Call your manager. He's escalating this. So now, fine, go ahead, break the window. Now their patience is exhausted. Now the question is, after breaking the window, I mean, does that mean you need to go ahead and reach in and punch the guy in the face? He saw real quick that, okay, this is getting out of control. I'm going to sit here and do nothing. Which, in that case, the officer probably could have said, well, he's not doing anything. He's not fighting back. He's not making any sudden movements. Let us open the door and just pull him out the car. I think it was unwise that the cop fell for the okie doke by going ahead and throwing a jab in the window, knowing we're living in this hyper-racial climate that immediately they're going to say, well, why'd you punch him in the face? He was just sitting there. It's almost like he set that cop up by getting under his skin and exhausting his patience. Now, all of a sudden, the cop's patience is gone, and this guy decides, break my window, I'm going to just sit here and let you do whatever you got to do to me. But what he wasn't doing is getting out that car. So even when he broke the window and said, get out the car, he's just sitting there like, so now it resulted in a sucker punch in his face. Now, I'm not saying the cop should have handled it that way, but I guess I believe this much. If this was your dad, he would have handled it that way. Hey, man, get out the car. No, look, man, get out the car. No, call mom. Call mom. What? Open that door and go to work on you. But in this case, the cop probably should have said, let's just go ahead and let this guy start fighting back, throwing blows. Let's open the door, cut the seatbelt off of him like he's a little kid, and pull him out the car instead of sucker punching him. So now, of course, because of public pressure, and of course, this video going viral, most likely somebody's going to have a problem with the sucker punch. And I think it might have been just unwise and premature that the cop threw the sucker punch. I don't think it was racially based. I think it was out of frustration, and I think it was out of disrespect to the point where he said, man, I need to teach you a lesson. Now, it might cost that cop his job, but that dude would never forget that sucker punch, that's for sure. So he gets drug out the car, thrown on the ground for resisting arrest. Now, what'd I do? Why I'm getting out of here? Well, what you did is you resisted the whole time when they gave you several opportunities to avoid this. You know why I pulled you over? No. Why'd you pull me over? This and that. No, I ain't got the, ain't no law to say I got to do. Show me the law. No, call your manager. Nope, get out the car. Boom, nope, slams the door. All of those opportunities to avoid this, and yet this dude walked himself right into a sucker punch and then being thrown on the ground and arrested when he could have avoided it. Now, I'm not going to make excuses for this guy and say, well, he ain't do nothing. All he was doing was asking questions and stuff, and those cops was just messing with him, and they ain't like his questions, so they just sucker punched him and broke his window and stuff. No, that guy gave almost like 99% of all the reasons why that happened. The only thing I might question was the sucker punch. But besides that, everything else, that brother brought on himself. Now, whether you black or a white liberal and you mad at me, so what? You know why? Because I'm not going to let him be sorry. And I'm not going to let you be sorry by bullying me into saying, well, it was obvious racism and they did it all because he was black. You saw the evidence. You could be foolish enough to overlook it and pretend that none of that counted or not. But I hold black people to a higher standard. Folks talking about white, or they don't treat white folks like that. Well, show me the videos of the white folks disrespecting the cops like that and see how the cops handle it. Then maybe I can make a comparison. But oftentimes, black folks that got some common sense and white folks, when they get pulled over, they know how to talk to the police, to where a lot of times these police will say, all right, well, I'm just going to let you off with a warning. Be careful. All right, take off. That could have happened. But that guy made it his mission to receive that sucker punch. Now, God bless you. God bless America. We'll see you next time in Kevin's Corner. Take care.